Underground Society podcast. So obviously I brought you on the show to talk about your rebrand to the Aerii project. For those of you who don't know, Aerii used to go by Dev, and he recently changed it to Aerii just a little over a month ago now. It's very new. So wanted to bring him on the show to talk about kind of how he went through his rebrand and kind of what your plan is from here. First, why don't we just get a little background on you? Where did you come from? What kind of got you into music?
So I am from Orlando, Florida, and I had been listening to electronic music. I got put onto it in high school from one of my good friends. Her brother showed me OG Skrillex, Rock and Roll Take You to the Mountains was the first song I ever heard, and I was like, it just hooked me. I was like, this is ridiculous. What is this? And that planted the seed, and it all kind of grew from there. But anyway, I was just listening to electronic music for a while, and then one of my ex-girlfriends, she took me to my first festival, and it was EDC Orlando in 2014, and I went, and I was just blown away. I was just I went to my first festival, and I had just been listening to it, and I was like, okay, that's this is cool, I love this, I like to listen to this in my free time. And then I saw people performing, these DJs, and at the time I didn't really know anybody that was on the lineup. I was still a baby raver, and that just really got me going. I was I just kept going to more shows, local shows in Orlando, and just was getting more familiar with the electronic sound, and it just kept I just kept feeling this burning passion inside of me, this music thing. I'm really gravitating towards this. There's more to this than me just going and attending shows. And then I was I went down the hole of what are they doing up there, and they're DJing, and then I go down the hole further, and I'm okay, the music that they're playing most of the time, they made that
did they
music.
Make this?
Yeah, it's did they make that? And I'm oh shit. So then it just spiraled like crazy, and so I just went down that hole, and I just I bought my first DJ controller, because I used to be a bagger and cashier at Publix before I started doing the whole pre-pharmacy route, what I was going to school for at UCF. And I don't know, man. I just bought my first DJ controller, and I was DJing for a while and around Orlando, just little places here and there. And it just people were dude, you're getting pretty good at this, man. You should try to make some music and take this to the whole next level, outside of just being, a DJ. Yeah. And so that's why I was okay, cool. And then I started to get my feet with production, and that's when I was doing the whole Dev project, and that was mainly more generated around dubstep and heavy bass music, and
which is the hot thing, so that can probably
it is. Yeah, and I did that for a while, and I was my project lasted about 6 years in total, as Dev, and I had a great run, and I do not regret anything that I ever did as Dev. I loved and made so many amazing memories that I'm gonna hold in my heart literally till my last breath. And It was just time for me to do something that I felt was right and internally for me. The dubstep thing, I just almost in a sense lost my passion for it, and it just wasn't hitting that spot for me. And I'm I didn't.
There's certain things in life that I feel aren't meant to be your forever thing, and that's okay to move on from that.
100%, and that's what it was. And I feel I took it pretty damn far. I got to tour all across the U.S., went to Canada, got to play festivals EDC Orlando multiple times. I played EDC Las Vegas. I went pretty damn I did the thing. I was really. I didn't feel I didn't accomplish my goals that I had set out for myself when I first started this project.
That's awesome.
So I was just okay, I did a lot of really awesome things that I feel good about. But it was just time for me to fulfill that music hole in my heart that just wasn't being hit anymore. And that's when I made the transition over to Aerii.
When did you start thinking about this of okay, maybe I have lost my passion? When did that
I would honestly say, I started realizing that my passion was, running thin and that just running dry, right when COVID hit, because I was on a tour, my Skull Crush tour as Dev, and then I got 4 or 5 shows into that, and then it just got pulled out from underneath my feet because all my shows, 20 more dates got canceled, and then we were doing the whole online, rave
streaming
thing,
shit,
the streaming stuff, and I don't know, it was just in that time I was just in my room a lot, and I went through my own really bad depression, and I was just in a really deep hole that I just had to pull myself out of, and dubstep was not doing that for me. I just was really gravitating towards music that was not that. And so I was just I found a bunch of artists that are in the wave scene, and we'll talk all about them in a minute, but I was just really gravitating towards wave music, and I was this shit is hitting way different than anything I've ever listened to or felt or just
which
pumped into my ears.
Went with that calling, because it's most people, at least most people I talk to, might not even know what wave music is. So
exactly. And what's crazy is what's crazy about it is I even right when COVID and everything chilled out and like shows started to come back, like I still went on for like probably like 9 more months of like playing shows as Dev and like doing dubstep things. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, this is all cool, and like I'm still forever grateful for the opportunities that I had in that moment in time that I was questioning all of this, but it just, I wasn't feeling fulfilled, and it was just kind of like, I need to be doing this, you know, for me, and I need to be doing this and being true to myself, because like, I don't know, a part of me just, not that I felt like I was like a fraud, but it was just like I wasn't like happy with my own way of passage in music. Like I felt like I was kind of doing something that I wasn't happy with, and that's not why I'm doing this. Like music makes me feel everything. Like music is the best thing in the world to me. Like if there wasn't music, like I really don't know what I would be doing right now. And
I
so
feel like that's a lot of us, and a lot of people that are listening to this podcast right now feel that same way.
100%, man. And so like when it comes to like the new music that I found, like my roommate was playing like wave music because we like shared an apartment in Tampa, and he was like playing wave music like from the bathroom when he was like showering, like on his fucking Bluetooth,
like,
Bluetooth
oh wait,
speaker.
I like this.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, what is that? Like, this is so good. Like, it's really thick and really heavy, but it's emotional, and like I'm a super emotional person. Like my Scorpio energy just rages. I love like feeling, and I've never hid that. And like people that knew me as Dev, like I was always super transparent about my feelings and what I thought about things. Like never really crossed a line and like talk stupid, but like I was always expressive. Like that's just who I am as a person. And so I don't know, man, like as soon as I first started to hear wave music from my old roommate Andrew, like damn, it really like it shook something in me when I first found that.
How long ago did you first hear it and get into it? How long ago was that?
So I was listening to wave music probably in like 2018, 2019 is when I first got put onto it. And the first song that I ever heard it's called Still, and it's by an artist named Barnacle Boy. And
I know
heard
Barnacle
this
Boy.
song.
I follow him on Instagram.
Shout out Barnacle Boy, Ian. I love you, dude. But yeah, no, I heard that song for the first time, and I froze. Like I had no idea what that was that rushed through me, but it felt really good, and I was like, wow, like I haven't felt this feeling in a long time.
So you were listening to it for what, a while then before you started?
Yeah, dude, I was listening to it for probably like 3 years, about 3 years before I even like started to produce it, like because I was like at the time like focusing on like dubstep, and at that time like I didn't have the courage in me to be like, yo, I need to show these dubstep kids like wave. Like I didn't think that was gonna work until like I kind of hit that like after COVID period where I was like, dude, like I'm just gonna go do this because this is what's making me happy, and I'm really gravitating towards this. I'm not listening to dubstep in my free time. I'm having a lot of trouble writing dubstep, like my own music. Like I'm having trouble writing music that I'm passionate about. I don't feel that spark in me anymore. And so I started making wave, and I was just like, I mean, like my debut EP that's coming is so good. Like I'm so proud of all this music, and I cannot wait to share it with the world. That's like awesome. It's something that I'm excited about because I'm excited to show people bass music in what I would kind of say like a new light. Like it doesn't have to always be like, you know, rhythm and like bro step smashers. Like all that is super cool, and I'm not knocking that at all. And if that's what you fuck with, that's what you fuck with. Good shit. I love it. Good for you. But I just want to show people that bass music doesn't always have to be that. And so this new music that I'm going to be putting out soon it's the most me that I've ever put into my DAW. And that's so awesome. It's just,
I feel like everyone should have that opportunity in life where there's like, you know, whether it be you're a musician or whatever, everyone deserves to have that thing in their life that like fires them up, especially
100%, like 100%. And like that's what it is, like this sense of transition, like away from Dev and into Aerii. Like again, I'm not knocking anything I ever did as Dev, but this stuff that I'm about to do as Aerii, like dude, this is gonna take shit to a whole new level. And awesome. I am very, very, very excited to show the world what I've been doing for the past year, like building this with my team. Like that's awesome. This is gonna be really special, and I'm just really excited to show people.
How long ago was your last Dev show? When was the last time you performed as Dev?
So my last Dev show was like literally I would consider it like 1 year ago this month.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I performed at EDC Orlando last year at Corona Electric Beach, my biggest Corona beach that I've ever played at EDC Orlando. I've played 4 times, and that last year was absolutely ridiculous. Like it was fucking crazy.
Just like from the fan, like spectate, like how many people showed up, or
like dude, like I literally like I remember I was down, like I was like below the decks, like running my intro, and I like stood up and I like saw everybody. Like dude, it's like the fucking stage was like so many people were there. It was like out to the sides, like outside of like the barricades of like what is Corona Beach. It was like flooding to the outside and like past the barricades in the back. Like there was way too many people that could fit in there. And I was like, dude, what the? I was like looking at my mom. My mom was literally there because I bring my mom to like all my big performances. I'm like looking at my mom and I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? Like, holy shit, this is crazy. But no, it was awesome. And like, I left everything in the booth. And at that time, like, I had already been thinking to myself, like, this is probably going to be like my last really big performance as Dev. And I left that shit all on the table right there. I loved that set. I left everything that I had as Dev in that DJ booth. And I have no regrets. And yeah, I just can't wait to go back there, later on down the line once all my music starts coming out. And when the project starts like really rolling and like we can get back and I can show people Wave and like show people like where I'm at now. And like since then, like, I don't know, man, like I've just been so much more happy. Like I pulled myself out of that dark space that I was in and like everything feels good again. Like it all feels true and it feels like that fire is just like fucking raging inside of me again.
That's awesome to hear. You mentioned a Europe trip that changed a lot of your perspective as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that
What was the Europe trip? I'm very intrigued.
Oh, dude, this one I'm gonna get pretty deep with you, like all this right now, because this Europe trip, just to start like with this point, and then I'm gonna like go off on a bunch of different tangents here. Europe trip, literally. The things that I saw and the feelings and everything that rushed through my soul, I have never felt and experienced in my life. Even with doing the festivals and all the things I've done in America, seeing what I saw and the passion for music in the European market solidified.
What'd you go to?
I went, we started the trip in London. And then from London, I went to Poland. And in Poland, I was in two different cities in Poland. We started in the city called Krakow, and then from Krakow we went to Warsaw. And I linked up out there with Barnacle Boy, my good friend Ian, and my other friend Marcus. He goes by Brothel. Two fucking absolute legends in the wave scene. Like they've been doing this shit for a while, and they inspire me. Like I know they're my friends and everything. Like our friendship that we've built up, I'm really grateful for. But they have also musically inspired the living shit out of me. Like these dudes' music does something to me that I don't even have words for. Awesome. But when I linked up with them out there, like I had booked Barnacle Boy in Tampa. Like I threw my own show like just in the Tampa area, and then it just built that friendship. And then like I was just kind of like in a little rough spot with like my day job, because even though I was doing Dev, I still had a day job. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I need to go feel something. And so I asked if I can go and like join them on their Europe stuff, because I was like, I want to go feel and experience and be around wave music, not dubstep. And I went out there, and dude, the things that I saw and just the people that were like at these shows and like how they knew every single song coming out of the goddamn speakers. There was no visuals. There was minimal lighting. Everything is dark. Like it's the complete opposite of what the American market is. You know what I'm saying?
Techno warehouse show almost.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And like to see these people completely captivated by this music was unreal. Like, and I get it. Yeah, you have your people in every show that, they're doing their thing and they're lit and they're vibing, right? But to see some majority of these people just literally with like waters in their hand, just like chilling and just like surrendering to this music was such a beautiful experience, and it forever carved at me that I was just like, dude, I'm done with this. Scene. Like I'm done with this. Like this was great, and that just like hit the fucking nail in the coffin for me, where I'm like, dude, fuck this. And I literally came back from Poland from that whole like European trip, and now I wrote 4 tracks for my EP. They're all ready to fucking go. And
wow. Inspiration.
The inspiration. I've never felt such like a rush of that. This was in March. Of this year.
Wow.
It was like the end of March, and then like I was gone for 3 weeks because we spent a week. It was like a week in London, and then I spent 2 weeks in Poland, and
what a great time.
Forever changed, man. Like that was crazy. And it was my first time leaving the country, and it was just something crazy, man. And like away from like the music, and to talk about like the actual artists and the people that like I got to build with and meet and talk with. Like in London, the event that I went to that Ian and Marcus were playing, Barnacle Boy and Brothel, there's a wave label called Liquid Ritual, and they're based out of London. And this like label, they threw a takeover at this venue in London, and they all played it, like all the big weights in wave. Like Skeller was there, Sublab, Deb Crow, So many people, like the lineup, like I looked at it and I was like, dude, like it's literally from the first person going on to the last person going, like was absolute goats. Like these producers are just cracked.
You just said Dead Crow.
Yeah, Dead Crow was there as well. Yeah,
I love his
yeah,
music.
Felix.
I listen to a lot
yeah,
of his
Felix
music.
is crazy, and we'll get into him specifically in a minute because he is a really dope person, and he also carved at me. But at that show, like in London, like just seeing like Careful and like all these people that were just surrendering their own selves to this music and just like welcoming me in because they all knew I was coming because I made my own social media posts like on like saying like I was gonna go join like Ian and Marcus out there, and they were like, they just saw me as like this dubstep kid because I didn't have anything as Aerii yet. Like Aerii wasn't a thing yet, and they were just kind of like, yo, like questioning, like in a way, like we see you on your social media as like dubstep, like you fuck with this music. I'm like, dude, this is like you don't even know what's burning inside of me right now. Like, yes, like this is what I feel is gonna be my calling, and it was like and it is, and I got to connect with all these artists and they all felt my energy and they were like, damn, like, okay, this guy's really here for the right reasons. Like he's not just like riding this like wave of like, oh, wave music is cool. Like, no, like I felt what they're feeling. And that's what's so powerful about wave. Like it's difficult to explain other than like to somebody that like doesn't know wave. I just try to say it's like emotional trap music is kind of the best way to put it.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like under wave, you have like a lot of other subgenres of wave, right? And so you have somebody like Felix, Dead Crow, who kind of does the more hard wave sound, which is where I'm trying to kind of go with my sound.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
As Aerii, it's like the really bright, like trancey synths, like really euphoric, really bright sounds. And so like I got to meet all these guys, like they all were just like super accepting, and that was just something that was really refreshing, man, because like again, like not knocking anything in the dubstep scene, but it's just like kind of a constant like dick measuring contest, like who's got the hardest music, who's got the best set. Like it didn't really feel like people were genuinely like supporting in a way. Like yes, you have homies in the scene that like help push you, right? But then you have these people that you only know through our magic box, right? Like on our phone. They only know me through this, so they don't really know what the hell is actually going on in my life and what I'm doing in my music. And so it's just kind of like these people were just immediately so accepting and just like, dude, like, yes, like if you're gonna do wave, just know we're all here to support you. If you need anything, like let us know. And that was super refreshing for me. And so it was like I was captivated
from some
by
of those
this
names
sound.
too. Like some of those people are just accepting you in. That's dope.
And like I hadn't even put out anything yet. Like I didn't even have my fucking logo as Aerii made to be like, yeah, this is what I'm like. I had nothing. And they're just like right here with like open arms, like, dude, come on, like let's do it. And I'm just that right there was just another one of those like nail in the coffin, like. Dubstep, I'm done with this. Like these people are here to help me. And the most beautiful thing about all of it was like it all came natural. Like everything felt like it just flowed, man. Like there was nothing that like I didn't have to pretend like I was somebody I wasn't to fit into a room. Like it was just the most beautiful and natural experience I've ever had in my life when it comes to being a part of a community within music. Like it's how it's supposed to be, man. And like honestly, like that was just one of those things where I was like, okay, like that's confirmation. The universe is telling me like, yo, like you had a cool experience over here doing this, but like if you really want to gain that true happiness again, like look at these signs I'm showing you. Like these people are fucking goats. Like I was literally hanging out with like Skeller, who's like massive in this whole fucking wave thing. Like, and we're just like kicking it, like talking shit, like literally like not even talking about music, just like talking about life and like cars and like shit that we like, you know what I'm saying? Like that just was something that I'm never gonna forget. And that's what I meant by like this Europe trip, like forever carving at me. And just like me, like yes, going to these shows and feeling the music and like just kind of surrendering to it, yes, was awesome. But like on the flip side of that, like meeting these people that are playing this music and performing at these shows and like feeling that their energy is very similar to mine. Like again, it's so hard to like put even into words, like other than what I've already said, but like it just was confirmation that this is what I need. This is where I need to be at, and this is where I need to be right now. And so that's why like I just, as soon as I got home, like I just started grinding on music, dude. Like I just fucking spent all my time in my computer, like in Ableton, just like trying to get the sound down, and but also trying to figure out like what in this wave shit like can I do to make me stand out for who I am as Aerii. And so I have all these things that are going to be like a part of my like brand that I feel are me. Like I don't see anybody else doing the things that I'm doing, and like maybe it's just because I haven't come across these way, whatever. But like at the same time, I just want to be able to use all the inspiration that I've gained, you know, by going to Europe and finding all this new music and like listening to it and really surrendering at night to this music. I just want to be able to be myself and just like bring my own artistic package to the table within the wave community, and not only just bring my own package, but help all these other people that gave me those open arms. I want to fucking lift them up and do whatever the fuck I can to help them as well, like how they have shown to me.
I feel like it's because it's been so like such an easy transition for you. I feel like it's going to be even easier to make a brand out of who you truly are.
Yeah, 100%. And like as part of like,
you feel like you're not judged, and you feel like this is where you belong. So it's a lot easier to just be like, I can do whatever I want. You feel a lot more free in that environment.
Yeah, and that's like how I feel right now. And like as part of like my this whole rebrand that we're going through right now, like getting everything off the ground. I'm so excited to like start up my mix series and like have this like happen. Like I already have my volume 1 done, which will be like my like kind of just my own like debut
self-releasing it,
self-mix. Yeah, like my own like self-release mix of me, right? But like I already have like my volume 2 like artist like already lined up. He's like working on his like mix, and like I'm just excited.
You're gonna
with this
be
mix
having
series.
People
Yeah, man, like that, because
that's dope.
Yeah,
super cool.
And so what I'm gonna do with it is it's gonna be titled, and shout out people that are going to get to hear this for the first time right now. My mix series is going to be titled Above the Clouds. And so my whole thing is being above the clouds. Like Aerii, like my brand icon is like the crescent moon inside the cloud. Like that is, this music makes me feel weightless, and it makes me feel like I'm chilling in a fucking airplane above the clouds, like free floating, just like vibing. I want to be able to, you know, help put on, especially because like I'm coming into the wave scene as an American. A lot of these big guys in this scene, like other than like, you know, our American market, like wave artists, some of these bigger dudes like Last Century, Careful, Folo, fucking like there's just so many huge people that are in this scene that they're not American. They come from Australia, London. Juche, one of my favorite hard wave artists, comes from like France. Like it's I want to bring those people that may not have the American market, like the American market may not know them. I want to fucking be that guy where I'm like, yo, do not sleep on this shit. Like these people are fucking cracked. Listen to this shit. Like right now, like, please listen to this. And like volume 2, like the artist that I have for that, it's actually an artist that I collabed with like on my debut EP. His name is Lost Main, and this guy is absolutely cracked. Like he's so good, and like his music is just like, I want to be able to push him over here and be like, yo, this is where I want. Like people that have no idea that you even like are doing what you're doing or where you're at, like in Germany, like you need to listen to this. Like this is bass music in a whole fresh light. Like I know it's not dubstep and rhythm, but check it out. Like it's, so you're going to be really hard using
the mix series as an opportunity to showcase some of these artists. That's awesome.
Correct. And as well as connect with people that like I haven't even met yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to like, you know, once it's all off the ground.
It'll start opening a lot of doors for you with this podcast. It's the same exact thing I experienced. It's just it slowly just builds over time, and you get to know more and more people, and it's fun. It's a fun experience. It's a fun process.
100%. And like with my name, like Aerii, where it came from, is I was just like, whenever I was thinking about the whole rebranding aspect of wanting to go into wave music, I was like, okay, like what makes me want to be able to like tell people, like when they see my name, like what is it gonna be that first thought, you know, like what is gonna be the first initial impact that it's gonna have on these people. And something that I felt with wave was the sense of ethereal, like that just like free floating, like deep space, just completely fucking like loss of self, just like free flowing deep space type vibe, because that's what I feel when I listen to this music. Like I black out from everything around me and I feel like I'm floating in a fucking nebula, dude. Like straight up, that's what I feel.
That's
and
awesome so that music can provide that for you. That's super
100%. Cool. And like that's I've had a sense of that, you know, while discovering electronic music and like finding out all the different, you know, like genres of the shit that I like, but it never hit as hard as when I found wave. Like wave just took the cake, where that feeling was most intense and like the strongest. And so I took that word ethereal, and I was like looking that up. I was like, damn, that's a really cool word. Like that's a dope word. That's what it makes me feel. Let me just see. And I was like, oh damn, like Playboy Cardi's producer is literally called Ethereal. I'll get copyrighted mad quick. I was like, I could not do that. I could not do that. So of course, like nine times out of 10, somebody would do, I go to fucking Google and I start looking up synonyms for that word, and I found the word Aerii, but it's spelled Airy. And I was like, okay, that's like the first synonym for ethereal that I found on the internet.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. And I just like started writing on a piece of paper, like just like coming up with different like variations of that like spelling. And I came up with the way that I have it, Aerii. And I don't know, man. Like to me, when I wrote it on paper, I was like, that's what I want. Like it was just that like internal feeling of like, this looks and feels right on paper. Like I'm going to do this, and that's when I went down the hole of getting a logo made and like coming up with all the brand aspects, like from Aerii, like going with like the clouds and like it all just like tying itself together, because like it all just, that's what this music makes me feel. So it just kind of, once I came up with like the initial spelling of my name, it all just poured. It just like fucking, the wheels on the bus just started spinning mad quick, dude. And like something that I've always like struggled with, like just like over the course of just doing music, is I've always like struggled with like finding titles for things and like putting a name to something, because to me it's all about a feeling. And like whenever I'm like, oh shit, like what am I supposed to call this if I don't even know what this feeling is like in words, you know? So it was just like really nice that it all like happened very naturally, and I was like, okay, this is again another sign that this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
I was gonna ask too, once you got back from, because you were talking about putting the project together and stuff, once you get back from Europe, how was that process of like going about bringing management this idea, and like how did the when the wheel started turning, did management help you much with the process?
So I am a part of the Millennial Momentum like roster of artists that they have, and they also go like by Dubstep FBI.
Yeah, shout out Dubstep FBI for those of you who know them.
Yeah, shout them out. Yeah, so they were, you know, I met them in Florida when they came down here, and we just all hit it off. Like we connected like really fucking well. I just kind of was telling them about like my feelings of like, you know, I'm doing dubstep, and like that's how they knew me, as like a Florida dubstep guy. So they were like, okay, yeah, like this is all cool. And then like when we really sat down and I felt like I could trust them, I was like, okay, like this is what I feel inside, and like this is what I feel like I need to gravitate towards. Like can I just like spitball these ideas to you guys, and you just kind of like coach me and guide me on like what you guys can kind of even advise on me wanting to even do this. And everyone was so supportive. They were like, yo, yeah, like, because they picked me up as dev, and then like I told them about like me wanting to rebrand, and Joe, Chrissy, and Yessie, I have never once gotten a vibe from them that they did not believe in anything that I thought that I wanted to do with Aerii. They were super supportive. They trust me, and they know that what I went and I saw out there and the music that I've shown them, especially all the shit I've made myself, they fucking love it. They're like, this is awesome. Like, yes, like they can feel how proud I am of it. And in return, they're like, okay, we want to help push this. And yes, I'm like the complete oddball of their roster. Like, they're all like dubstep, like hard style artists, like all these like
I think
artists that are not me. Like
they're from at least when I met them, and they were like strictly dubstep. And then they slowly started getting in the hard style, and then they slowly, you know, now they're going the direction with you. And I think they have an open mind. Chrissy even sent me a trance playlist like 6 or 7 months ago. So I know they're like, they have an open mind about all the different genres of music. So I don't think you would have a problem there.
They were super supportive. They were just like wanting to help push it, and they were just kind of like, okay, like this is what you're telling us you want to do. How can we help you bring this all to life? And so that's when we would just have meetings after meetings after meetings, and we would just fucking brainstorm and just get all of this shit lined up. And I'm super grateful for them. They have been there for me since the beginning of this shit, and like they've helped me bring this vision of mine like to life.
And having Joe on the team too. That dude's a smart guy.
Yeah, Joe is Joe is a forever legend. That man is a true king. So yeah, no, I'm very grateful that he's a part of my team, and I'm just grateful for all of us, because like, you know, usually like when you have a lot of people involved, sometimes it can be kind of messy. But we all like, we try to communicate the best that we can, and like, you know, each kind of person has their own little somewhat of a role where like, you know, Joe will do something for me, and he kind of sticks to doing that. Chrissy will help me with, you know, what she does. Yessie with what she does. So it's just like really cool that like we kind of we have like a little unit that we have as like the Aerii project, as like behind closed doors, you know?
That's awesome. Yeah. What were some of the specific things that you guys paid attention to, like, as you started to roll this out?
the main thing that we just like had talked about was just remaining who I am. And that was such a big part of who Dev was, because like I never tried to be the overconfident fucking dubstep guy who's like, yeah, I got the hardest shit, or like nobody can touch my mix. Like that was never me. Like I never had to say that. People that showed up to my sets, they knew I threw down. They knew that when they came, it was going to be heavy as fuck. Like I never had to be like that flamboyant, boastful kind of person.
Right.
And so whenever we were, you know, brainstorming and getting all the pieces together for this, the main like root of all of it was to just remain who I am. Like that's the one thing I wanted to mainly keep from Dev over into Aerii was like, yes, I know the sound is changing, the aesthetic is changing. Like, dude, I cut 16 inches off my fucking hair. Like, I started wearing all white clothing. Like, I ditched the hat. Like, I literally, like, all the things that were Dev, I would, like, got rid of all of them except who I am as a person. And that's me as Devin. Devin is what needs to bridge Dev to Aerii like this. That's what is going to bring those people that were fucking with me as Dev into Aerii. And if they leave, they leave. I'm not asking and telling everybody that they have to stay here.
They have to like
if this isn't your thing, like if this is not your thing and you want to unfollow or whatever, completely fine. I'm not going to be butthurt about any of that shit. I just know that now I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and if people want to support that because I'm happy, by all means, you're more than welcome to stay. That's just how I've been through all of this stuff. Like I'm never forcing anybody to want to fuck with this. My thing is I just am going to do my best to show people that bass music doesn't necessarily have to be dubstep, rhythm, or like that space bass, like Wakan type shit. That's just like the three biggest forms of bass music, like free form in America.
You got to prioritize yourself too, and make sure that you're doing.
And that's
back to our beginning of the conversation is you're fulfilled. Yeah,
and that's just with me. Like I just want to make sure that I'm happy, and like if I'm not happy, how can I let other people like feel what I'm feeling, and like making music that I'm happy and passionate about? Like nobody's gonna feel that if I'm not happy making what I'm making. And that's like where I was at with dubstep, man. Like I was just having such a hard time finishing tunes and just like,
and it's gonna be hard to communicate what you're trying to communicate through music.
Not only that, but it's like I can't finish songs, and then like how the hell am I supposed to tell these people like, yo, like I've been trying and nothing is sticking? They're like, you know, it's just like not everybody is a producer. So like not everybody understands that. And like people are just like, yeah, make songs on your computer. And it's like, yeah, but it's not like not that easy. Like it is not that easy. Like there's a whole fucking bunch of things that have to go down for that to be able to flow out of you as a person. And so that's why now, like, dude, like I have my EP finished. Like I have like singles ready to go for like after the EP, like my mix series. Like, dude, like I have been like grinding so fucking hard on this shit, dude. Like, awesome. And it's all just coming out naturally, and it's all just like stacking up, and it's just like a good feeling. Like it just feels like I'm truly the artist that I'm meant to be. Like I have my entire package together, and I'm really fucking excited for this, and like what's about to start unfolding at the like come very soon. Like. With the first debut single,
that's
and like
dropping on the
18th.
That's right. Yep.
11/18 is when the first single drops, and that first single is called Ethereal.
Nice.
So yeah, and the artwork. Yeah, 100% full circle. That's why I was like, okay, I need to name this first song that. Perfect. And that tune is very special to me. It was wrote as like my intro, so like for all my live sets, like that's what I plan to like open my sets with, just because it's like very grand, very trance, like fucking huge. Like it's a very like captivating song. All of these songs like on my EP, like they all kind of have their own unique Aerii vibe to it, and so I'm very, very, very stoked, and my team is really proud of it as well. And like it's just nice to know that like, you know, my core and everybody that like I've shown, like my girlfriend, like my family, like my team, like everybody's like, Devin, they're like, this is fucking crazy. Like yes, your dubstep stuff was cool, but this shit hits in a whole different way, and like that's a really reassuring feeling, you know. And like showing my family this music when like, I don't know, like dude, like my dad, like I was showing him dubstep, and to him it's just noise, you know. Like he doesn't understand what that actually is. And I showed him my wave shit, and my dad's like, Devin, like what? And I'm like, yes, like they're like I hooked them.
I told
like,
you I'm a good producer.
Yes, dude. And so like now that I can show these people that like I actually give a fuck about, like I care about them, they're my family, like even my good friends, like to have them telling me like this music hits different, that's so reassuring, man. And like that's them telling me that. That's not me digging for a response. That's me just sending them a link like, hey, I made this song, and then them being like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yes, like that's again another sign that I'm picking up on of just like, this is what the path I need to be going down. Like,
was there anything with the rollout that maybe didn't go as smoothly as you would hope?
The only thing that like I would kind of say would be like the issue like with this whole rollout was we got thrown that bone for the debut show like a little too soon before the music started coming out. So I feel like it was a little bit difficult to get people that didn't know what I was doing as Aerii like kind of on board, because it's like, how can you go to a show when this guy doesn't have any songs out, he doesn't have a mix out, he doesn't have anything out other than I'm not doing dubstep anymore, I'm doing wave music, and these people have no idea what wave even is.
I was gonna ask about that first show. For A, it was in your hometown, which was kind of a cool move for you guys. And B, was it mainly just people that knew you and supported you, or like how was the turnout?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the turnout was mainly just people that knew who I was, and just people that like I've, behind like in my own private life have like shown my music to, and they were like, "Oh shit, like if that's the music you're showing me, like I'm going to want to come and see what else you have to this," right? So like shout out Primal. John, thank you so much for believing in me, for wanting to even like have me booked for that show. And I'm not knocking the show at all. I know it was short notice, but we did our best that we could, and I was still grateful for it. And it was really cool to like perform my set and like things that I've been working on for the past year, like in my record box, and like putting edits together and like my own tunes. Like it's one thing to do it like in a studio or like on my computer here in my girlfriend's apartment. Like that's one thing, but that's in my mind, in my head. Does that translate to people out live? And to see that, no, it was not sold out. It wasn't fucking crazy packed. But like the people that were there, to see them move and see them completely surrender with me was something that I've never seen at one of my dev shows. Like straight the fuck up. It was so sick. And like everybody that was there, like they had such a good time. Everyone had such amazing things to say like afterwards, like very supportive things. Like they were just like, wow, like that is completely different than dev, and we're all here for it. Like keep going, like do not give up. And so it was really cool. But I would say that was the only thing that was just kind of like a little bit on the difficult side, just because again, like I didn't have any music out, I didn't have any like mixes out. I just kind of had my rollout like initial like, hey, I'm rebranding kind of posts out. So I'm excited for the shows that are going to be coming like up though, because like I just played in Denver. My friend Ian, I saw Barnacle Boy perform at Red Rocks just this past weekend.
Oh, sick!
And my girlfriend and I, we flew out.
Was it his show, or was it?
He was opening for Zoo. Yeah, he was support for Zoo at Red Rocks.
Very cool.
I had told myself that I was never going to go to Red Rocks until I performed or Barnacle Boy performed, because Barnacle Boy, like Ian, like he has changed my life forever with his music, and like that's my best friend and like the person who musically inspires me like the most. And it's like crazy because they tell you like don't meet your idols, but like dude, like I met him and like we have connected like on a fucking crazy level, man. Like it's a very unique relationship that I have, because like at the end of the day, yes, I love his music and everything, like it's where it all kind of started from, but now it's turned into the like brotherhood. Like that's my fucking boy. Like I will literally ride for him like whatever the hell he needs. Like it doesn't even have to be music related. Like I got his back like through everything. I was like, yo, like okay, I'm not gonna go to Red Rocks until either I play or he plays. So my fucking dog, he got to play, so we flew out there and I got to see that. And then he invited me to the after party. He was like, yo, like do you want to throw down a set like at the after party? Like he was like performing in at the Maybe Forever after party. Shout out Maybe Forever in Denver. They were they had like a warehouse event, and Ian was playing, and they were like, yeah, cool. Like bring homies. And he was like, yo, do you want to play like an hour set? And I was like, bro, yes, I've always wanted to play in Denver. That's one place I never got to go as dev. Let's fucking go.
It's already unlocking new doors for you.
Yeah, dead ass, dude. And so I went out there and performed, and like, bro, it was great. A bunch of people that had no idea who I was. I think I got like fucking like, I know to people that, they're not going to think it's a lot, but dude, like I left that show and I got like 15 Instagram followers from people that had no idea I even existed. And so like these first few shows, like, yeah, they've been on the smaller scale, but knowing that there's there's gravitation there, like people are feeling what I'm doing, like that's a really reassuring feeling. Like that's something that sparks even, throws a little bit more fucking lighter fluid on this fire, like it's really dope. And like with the future shows that are going to come, like once I start putting out this music and people can start to hear what it is I've been doing, like it'll all just start to come naturally. Like I know how this goes as dev, like when you don't put out music for a while, people stop fucking with you, or they don't want to book you and shit like that. Once you start putting music out and you start showing people that there's effort here, things and opportunities start to surface. And so all these different things that'll start to surface, either here in America or overseas, when like the whole European market hears my shit, like whatever these opportunities are, I'm right here with the door wide fucking open.
If your music took you to like overseas and you had the opportunity to move, would that be something that you would be open to?
Oh, 100%. I've literally spoke with like my family about this, and like what the things that I saw like overseas and like the people that I got to meet, like it's different, man. It really is. Like the energy that I felt from people is not like here. Like here you hold the door open for somebody and they're just kind of like, still go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You go there and you hold the door open for somebody and they're like ready to give you a hug. Like, and those are my kind of people, man. Like I'm a lover, you know? And so like those are the kind of people that I want to be surrounded by. And like, I don't know, man. Like if I could ever get that opportunity to move there, and even if it's not for forever and it's just like a small portion of my life, I am accepting of that. Like I would love that. I would be 100% down to do that. Get a visa, go out there, do whatever the fuck I need to go do to go over there. Like I would love to go back and do my thing this time, you know? Like I got to go and support my friends last time, but this time like I want to go do me, and I want to show these people what they sparked inside of me. And so I know it's going to come. I know that it's probably not going to be like a fucking next month type thing, but like as the tunes start coming out and it starts to spread, and I like kind of just let it do its thing, because sometimes like with music, it's kind of like that unspoken kind of thing. Like you just have to let it go. Like you just have to let it do whatever the fuck it's going to do. Like you don't have really much control sometimes. You just got to let people find it and fuck with it and gravitate towards it. And yeah, man, I'm just really excited to see like what happens in the future and like where this project takes me, and just keep making beautiful music, man. The shit that's just super powerful.
I was gonna ask too, because something else that you wanted to bring up was the new visual art stuff that you're working on for the project. What do you got? Dude. What do you got in the works for that?
Okay, so I was not struggling to find graphic art for like my EP, but like I knew that I wanted this artwork.
You wanted
to
something
hit
specific.
Very specific, exactly. And when it came to dev, everything was like black, red, and skulls, right? You can give that to any fucking graphic designer, and they could probably make you something pretty sick out of that, right? But when it comes to Aerii, like that's very specific. That's very free flowing, very wavy, very like beautiful and uplifting. Like that's not just, hey, put a skull and some red and black flames and call it a day type beat. So like when it came to finding a graphic artist, I had been following this girl on social media, dude, for probably dead ass, bro, like 4 years. Her name is Photos by Sav G on Instagram, and I believe that's also her Twitter handle as well. And she makes this like really beautiful, trippy artwork. Like it's like I don't even know how else to describe it other than.
Yeah, that's your EP cover, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So this kind of like ethereal, crazy space vibe, like
that's
a lot of her artwork
is very
like that.
Very fitting for what the feeling that you were describing, the ethereal feeling.
100%, and that was my main thing. Like with my team, like when it was, you know, when we had the discussion of okay, like now we got these tunes, now we need artwork and visuals and the whole brand side to match the sound. They were like, yo, like, what do you want to do for it? And Chrissy, thank you so much for pushing me to do this. She was like, Devin, you literally like for my like brand guide that like I give to promoters or anybody that wants to make anything for me, like for Aerii, so they can kind of get an idea of what's kind of going on with like my sound and where I'm going with this and where I'm trying to take it. She literally has like 5 photos by Sav G's pictures that I just like saved from Twitter that are just like on my mood board that are just like there. And so Chrissy was like, Devin, like reach out. And like this girl's massive, dude. Like on Instagram, she got like 80K. Like, bro, I did not think she was gonna see my shit. Like, bro, like she posts in like minutes, she's getting like thousands of reactions. Like, bro, she's massive in like the graphic design world. And rightfully so, bro. Her artwork is absolutely fucking cracked. Like, it's so good. And so Chrissy gave me that push. She was like, Devin, reach out. Like, just see. She's like, you know, one of those, you know, moments of like closed mouths won't get fed type beat. And so I was like, all right. I sent her a DM.
That's one of the hardest things. That's one of the hardest things to get over is like feeling like I don't know if she's gonna respond. Like who cares? Just freaking reach out to them. Like even if they don't, then that's your answer. Like just do it.
Yeah,
that's the hardest like mental thing to overcome.
Yes, dude, and that's exactly what Chrissy was saying. She was like, Devin, just write to her. Like she's like, even send it to me first. Like, tell her what you want from her and like what she can do. Ask her how much it would cost and see what she fucking says. Like if she says no or if it's out of your price range, whatever. You tell her, you know, later down the line, I'll see you soon type shit. And she fucking hit me back and she like literally like. Bro, like 15 minutes after I messaged her, and she was just like open for commissions, like taking like open commission artwork like things. And I was like, I explained to her what I needed and like everything like that, and She brought my vision to life, man. That's all that I know how to say right now, dude.
Sweet.
She literally, like, I sent her my EP. I told her what I wanted. Like, I wanted, like, an artwork and then color varying it. And she was like, well, instead of just color varying it, can I just make you 4 unique pieces? And I was like, if you want to go the extra mile and do that for me, I would love and appreciate that. But this was just my vision. And she was like, no, like, I'm going to hook it up. Like, I got you. And she made me,
Sick.
like, four each, like, track title. Like, each track on my EP is going to have a different color artwork. But overall, it's going to be the ethereal EP, which will be that main artwork. But each track will have like a different color, but trippy space artwork like
She
that.
definitely hooked it up. That's like
oh, dude, she hooked it up so hard.
What the hell?
Dude, no, she did, man, and she like was very professional to work with. Like she brought my vision to life, and like we were just going like back and forth, like bouncing like ideas off one another, and like she was just like really trying to dial in my vision, and like
That's amazing.
She's obviously an artist as well, like so she saw how passionate that I was, and so for her to like be open to want to like really truly help me bring out
combine
my
passions.
vision, but it was more so like I felt her energy of wanting to help me bring out my passion and like my vision that I want for this, instead of just looking at me as a fucking money grab and like, oh, let me just get the bag off this kid real quick. Like, no, like I never got that vibe at all. Like, so it was just like really special to work with her, and like just like all the years that like I've been like following her on Twitter, like melting at her artwork. I'm like, dude, this shit is fucking crazy. Like, if I ever had artwork like this, it would be nuts. And so
And now you do.
Like, and now I do. And so now it's just like, holy shit, like that's amazing. Like I took that again, like little leap there to like go out on a limb and get a really badass graphic artist. And she was like down to work with me, and I was like, what the hell? Another sign. Like, let's go. There's no way that, like, with all these, like, signs that I see in front of me that have happened, like, there's no way that this is not the right path that I need to be on. Like, I'm destined for this right now. Like, I just got to keep putting in the work and keep grinding and never stop fucking believing in myself, because I got this shit, dude. Like, and I have all the people in my corner to help lift me up and really just, like, keep me level-headed and focused. And again, dude, I'm just like super excited to put out all this music and really get this shit going, and just like really put everything I've poured for who I am into this project out and show it to the whole world, because it's going to be really special.
I'm stoked for you, man. We are getting to time, but I do have some wrap-up questions for you. Future plans. Now that you've had your first show and you've gotten, you're rolling out your EP. Other than the EP, what you got more shows lined up, or what's kind of the next move?
So for right now, what we're focusing on as a team right now is just getting this music out first, and just like really hitting that hard, because
they have something
I feel
to
like
go
that's
off of.
and that's what's most important, man. Like I just feel like with the Aerii project, like I don't want that misconception that I kind of had with the Dev project, which was DJ Dev. Like I want this to just be Aerii. Like, I'm a producer, I'm an artist, like, this is my fucking music, and this is what I'm proud of, and you're gonna hear all this at my shows. Like, bringing that producer aspect really fucking hard to the table. Like, I don't want to just run up a bunch of shows and look like a DJ again like I did as Dev. Like, I would sacrifice playing shows and in response have my Spotify streams fucking crushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is more important than playing a bunch of shows.
You know who One True God is?
Yeah, that sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, I had him on the show earlier this year, but that's basically he makes more, or at least at the time, he's playing way more shows now. But at the time, he was making like basically his full-time income off just Spotify streams, and like barely playing shows. I was like, that's sick. So it's possible.
Yeah, like Skeller, bro. Like he literally will play like maybe like, I mean, for right now until he gets tapped into the American market, bro. Like he's probably playing maybe 20 to 40 shows a year. But you look at his Spotify streaming numbers, and it's like 450,000 monthly fucking listeners, dog. Like, are you kidding me? Like that's ridiculous. That's fucking crazy. And like, that just shows you how powerful this music can be. And like, when it gets to the point where my numbers are up and like, I'm getting that steady income of like from my streams, by all means, I'll be super down to play shows. I'm never going to not turn down shows. But my thing is I don't want this to turn into what Dev was, which was just playing an assload of shows and only putting out 2 songs a year type shit. Like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do with this.
Then the EP, obviously. What can we expect from that, other than you told us a little bit about the artwork? But what music-wise, what can we expect?
Yeah, so I have the first 2 songs on the EP. We're going to release them as singles. I'm doing one this month, and it's looking like the second single is coming out at the end of December. And then the
How
full
many songs
EP
total
will
for?
be It'll be 4 songs total.
Okay.
And one collaboration, and the collaboration is single number 2, and it's with a producer named Lost Main. And it's probably one of my favorite songs from the EP. It's one of the most beautiful pieces of music that I've ever written and been a part of, like with somebody else even. So I'm really excited for that one to come out. I know like Chrissy on my team, that's her favorite song from the EP. So I know when that one comes out, she's gonna push that shit and lose her mind to that one. So yeah, no, this EP is gonna be first 2 singles just to kind of close out this year, like 2022, and then come like 2023, like that in January, like we're gonna space it out, and then we'll have like, before the full EP comes out, I'm gonna drop my Above the Clouds Volume 1, and then after that, the full EP will come out the end of that month. So basically starting 2023, like I am going the hardest that I can possibly go. So it's gonna be dope, man. I'm really excited for it. And like I said, this music is something that I'm really passionate about, and it's pushing the hard wave sound, which is kind of the avenue in which wave I'm trying to go. But also, like, I wanted to show my range as a producer. And track 3 and 4, track 3 is kind of me blending like hip hop with wave. So kind of think like ASAP Rocky if he had like a wave producer. And then track 4 is very, very, very special to me. I wrote that in that moment of when I first started to want to do this, like the wave stuff, where I was in that deep pitted hole of like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not feeling this sense of passion and fire from dubstep anymore. Like, I want to make wave. And so, dude, I was in like a depressive hole, like, and I wrote this song called Hush. And it just like really slows my mind down, dude. It's really slow. It's like 110 BPM, and like it's a really beautiful ambient song, like true wave sound, like really deep.
I feel like
bass.
wave gives you a wide variety of like different ranges of BPMs that you can kind of play with.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
From a producer standpoint, I bet that's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, no, dude, and it's great, man. And like I said, like on this EP, like I wanted to show my range as a producer when it comes to wave, because like I don't want to just box myself in with just being a hard wave artist, and like I don't want to be just a down tempo like true wave like sound. Like I want to be able to make whatever the fuck I want to make, and at the end of the day, like, yes, the umbrella is wave, but I love all kinds of wave, dude. Like I love all of that shit. So like I want to be able to put out and make it my own, you know, like, and like, you know, have the hard wave but airy sounds, have the fucking funk wave, like really hard, dirty, deep type of like wave, true wave sound, like, but airy. And so I'm really excited, dude. Like I've made all these songs like my own, and like I've shown them to like Ian and Marcus, and they're just like, dude, holy shit. I'm like, yo, let's go. Like these guys I think are goated, so it's like they're my friends, but like these guys will also tell me, you know, if my shit's not hitting, like, and they're like, yo, this is like, for somebody who just started making wave in the past year, this shit is ridiculous. Like, yes, like, let us know when this shit drops. We're gonna help you push this. And I'm just like, sweet. Yes.
I already got support from like the legends in the game too. That's cool.
Yeah, dude, and that's what's crazy about it.
Has your writing process changed at all now that you've changed genres?
Like,
100%,
man.
The sounds and stuff, but like you, like as you go in the studio, like your routines and stuff, has that kind of stuff changed at all?
Everything has changed when it comes to the way that I make this music, because it's different, man. Like this music, when I'm writing this music, it's not.
You almost have to be in a different headspace.
100%, man. Because like when I was making dubstep, I was like, okay, with the mindset of I need to make this a smasher. Like I need to make this shit hard as absolute fuck, right? When it comes to wave, it's all about it's about a feeling inside. And so it's like, how can I get this feeling that I feel in this current moment portrayed into my music? Like, that is not something that I had as a creative process in my dubstep. In my dubstep, it was literally just like, I need to make this shit hard as fuck. Like,
loud
crazy sound design.
Bass.
Yeah, kicks, fucking like stacks of fucking basses, like just OTT the living fuck out of everything. Like, who gives a shit, right? Like at that point, it was just making hard ass music, and like music that was just like loud and like not really emotional. So like when you're making emotional music, that writing process is completely night and day difference. And that's been honestly my biggest struggle, but it's been something that's been fun because it's a challenge. And like making music is not always going to it's not always going to be easy. And when you have these challenges and you have to overcome these certain like, you know, mental battles while trying to like make music, like that shit's fun, dude. Because then when you nail it, you're like, yo, I just fucking nailed this shit. Like you get hella pumped. And
it's like
again,
beating a video game.
Yeah, dude, for real. And that's like, again, like part of finding that spark inside of me again. Like, you know, it's like, okay, like hell yeah, like I had a goal and I set out to make this feeling that I have inside me be portrayed in this track, like via these sounds. I did it. That's the point of this. Like, that's why I'm doing this. And so it's a really fulfilling kind kind of like internal thing that I feel like whenever I'm making this kind of music. And yeah, no, the writing process is completely different. And it's been, like I said, it's been a little hard to at first to kind of like switch my brain out of just like trying to make fucking bangers to like making emotionally powerful music. It is very different, but I'm getting there, and I feel like I'm in a really good spot right now, and it's just time to keep my head down and grind and just keep learning every single day.
Awesome. Well, we are at time now, so we'll wrap up here. Hey, do you have any questions for me?
Honestly, man, I just wanted to say thank you so much for even wanting to have me on here, being able to tell my story and being able to express and explain myself and like what I'm doing with this. It's really hard to put into an Instagram or a Facebook post, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could go make a TikTok and just like do that, but like at the end of the day, it's nice to sit down with somebody that
it's a life-changing move.
100%, dude. And like all of this, like I can't fit in a TikTok, and like it's just something that I don't want rushed.
Where can listeners find you and support you at?
All right, so all my social medias are at Aerii, at Aerii Wave, and so with that, you can find me on any social media, Instagram, Twitter. My Spotify is getting rolled out this Friday, so everything will just be at Aerii on Spotify, Apple Music, any streaming platform that you guys are going to be listening to music on. You're going to find my music there very fucking soon, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
When can people expect the pre-save for your EP?
I have the pre-save right now, my link tree and all my bios on all of my on all my social medias.
I'm gonna go
run that shit up.
Yeah, go run it up.
Pre-save that shit. Yeah, run it up.
Last question: if there's one piece of advice you could tell yourself when you first started producing, what would that be?
I would just say, don't be so hard on yourself. Just go ahead and have fun with it. And not everything has to come out. You don't have to sit there and make every piece of music be something that has to be released. Like sometimes you need to just make something just to fucking make something and express yourself. And if it never comes out, it never comes out. I was always just stuck in that hole of everything I'm working on has to come out. And I got in such a deep hole like that. And it's fun to just express yourself and just be who you are as somebody who makes music. And just expressing yourself through sound is something very unique, and I wish that I started doing this years ago, but I'm doing it now, and that's what fucking matters. So not only am I telling myself that like from back then, but I'm still telling myself that shit now. Like if I feel something someday when I wake up, and just go to the fucking computer and just put it out, just put it into the computer. If it comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like just flow. Like don't pressure yourself so much.